I am a big fan of Metal Slug series. I grew up with its chaotic running gun action, unique humor, instantly recognizable pixel art, and of course with its memorable characters. Some may know I love its characters so much that my channel's first avatar was Tarma from Metal Slug series. Known for its cartoonish depictions of war, Metal Slug has been one of the classics among all video games. However, this lovely franchise has been abandoned by SNK for years. There have been a couple of Metal Slug mobile games in the past, but there hasn't been a decent Metal Slug title. Until Metal Slug Tactics. That is developed by the team behind an indie title called Roguelords by Laker Studio, and published by Dotemu, the publisher behind Streets of Rage 4 and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Shredder's Revenge. These titles alone might help you to imagine what you would experience in Metal Slug Tactics. Rather than arcade running gun experience, this time Metal Slug Tactics presents a turn-based tactical approach, blending elements of grid-based strategy with Metal Slug chaos. This isn't the Metal Slug we are used to, but it certainly feels like a fresh take that respects its roots. I'm Arcadenaut here, and today I will explore whether this tactical adaptation succeeds in bringing something fresh and exciting to a classic title. Loyal to its roots, Metal Slug Tactics presents itself as a spin-off that could take place right after the end of Metal Slug 6. General Morden has re-emerged from hiding, plotting revenge against the world government, and it's up to the regular army once again to thwart General Morden's forces. As you can guess, it's straight Metal Slug story here. The regular army sends Marco Rossi, Eric Kasomoto, and Fio Jeremy as the initial force to fight against Morden's forces, and starting from the desert map, players are greeted with a grid-based tactical gameplay shaped by roguelike progression. By each map or the run you clear, another difficulty unlocks, and step by step, the story of Metal Slug Tactics and as well as the challenge expands and improves. Starting with Marco, Eri and Pio, each character brings their iconic personalities to the battlefield, and you get to see these characters banter when you're in a base, or when you do a synergy attack or a special move in the battlefield. However, these character interactions are still quite limited. Metal Slug Tactics offers character dialogues by each unlocked achievement and specific banters that longtime fans of Metal Slug would definitely appreciate. However, do not expect to fully grasp Metal Slug's story or the character backgrounds. On the other hand, as you move on to the next difficulty or a new map, the story also begins to serve its purpose as well. You see General Morden summon its generals across the maps, increasing the difficulty and adding some flavor to the gameplay aspects. As you continue your journey and finish each run either by clearing specific amount of maps or with different characters and loadouts, you get to unlock other playable characters. First Tarma, and then Nadia and Trevor from Metal Slug 4, and then King of Fighters characters of Clark, Ralph, and Leona. Each of these iconic characters bring a touch of nostalgia while fulfilling the tactical roles players would expect in a squad-based strategy game. Having different passive and active abilities, offering something different in this roguelike experience. One of the strongest aspects of Metal Slug Tactics is its roster, each having unique abilities, different playstyles and loadouts that lets you to come up with creative solutions annihilating General Morden's forces. With a team-based focus, you can pick 3 characters per run, with each one of them having 4 different loadouts that lets you start with a specific active skill to customize your own gameplay. As the franchise's frontman, Marco is often the go-to character for players new to Metal Slug Tactics. He is a well-rounded, all-purpose fighter, but his skill set emphasizes his leadership and synchronizations with teammates. So, if you have Marco in your team, make sure to buff his teammates and always put him somewhere that would help him to perform sync attacks. As next, Fio is definitely my favorite. Her acupuncture ability is a must-have for each run. She can move her allies or enemies across the map, granting a shield for her teammates that would nullify any kind of attack for once. Fio's healing abilities can help you to clear runs easily, but if she also equips a loadout with a burst damage, she would definitely shine. And as the last member of the starting team, Eri is a complete demolitionist with her long-range grenade attacks and her AoE damaging grenade launcher loadout. She is one of the hardest characters to operate effectively. However, Eri can bring a lot with Marco's synergy attacks and Fio's acupuncture skill. With Eri providing a playstyle that focuses on maximizing the damage output while managing limited resources, she also goes well with Tarma, as he is one of the sturdiest characters of Metal Slug Tactics, relying on defensive positioning and his deadly shotgun that can deal damage to multiple targets. Within this roster of 9 different characters, one of my favorites besides Fio is definitely Leona. And believe me, it's not my love for Leona from the King of Fighters series talking here, but Leona's ability to place multiple after images of her into the battlefield that can inflict multiple synergy moves to different targets, either as an active skill or when she participates in a synergy attack. Leona creates her own hologram to place upon the battlefield that enables multiple synergy attacks with different characters. That lets you quickly to clear the battlefield or deal high damage during boss battles. The rest of playable characters, with Nadia bringing a trap and drone-based gameplay, Trevor becoming a high-risk, high-reward character that lacks the durability but offering a glass cannon-like approach, and both Ralph and Clark excelling in close quarters combat, namely melee attacks, lets you to discover and to craft your own gameplay style. You can support both Ralph and Clark with Fio's supportive abilities and long-range weapons, while Ralph deals damage with his melee attacks and Clark does grapple moves, both clearing their way efficiently. Within these 9 characters, Nadia felt the least interesting for me. Maybe I need to tinker more with her loadouts and abilities to find the most suitable build for my style. However, I prefer to stick with characters like Tarma, Fio, Leona and Marco mostly, sometimes going defensive, sometimes going full aggressive with full-off synergy attacks, clearing the way, achieving the side objectives of the missions to increase my odds of improving my characters further. Since the roguelike mechanics, the level and the enemy design tend to get quite repetitive after around 8 to 10 hours of gameplay time, the roster of Metal Slug Tactics keeps this experience fresh and fun to experiment with. Instead of blasting through levels with speed and reflexes, Metal Slug Tactics wants you to plan each movement. It wants you to use the combos at your advantage, taking risks to increase your skill gauge, and it feels like a refreshing take that retains the elements of Metal Slug. I still find it quite shallow when it comes to these elements. From the enemy design to usable vehicles, maps, weapons, bosses and music, even fan-made Metal Slug titles have more enemy and level design than Metal Slug Tactics. Usable vehicles are only limited to Metal Slug and Slugnoids, so you won't see Tarma operating his elephant, Fio her ostrich and Eri on camel. There are no snowy maps featuring killer whales, no Martians, no Hong Kong map. I hope the developer team brings these additions either as a paid DLC or, of course, for free. But Metal Slug Tactics definitely needs these elements for a richer gameplay experience. Although the characters feel rich and fun to experiment with, the roguelike elements fail to catch up. With 3 different maps to start with, you can just head for the general modern space after you clear a map by defeating its boss after completing 3 different missions. Missions range from clearing out all enemies to surviving a set of number of turns, escorting Rumi to a save point, destroying a convoy before it leaves the map. As these are the map objectives to clear a mission, There are also side objectives that can let you earn money to upgrade your weapons or your abilities when you reach a base, maybe to earn more experience points to level up your characters faster. There are several boons to earn when doing these side objectives, and these are quite crucial to achieve. Whether you take the risk to achieve these or not shapes your gameplay. And also, since the secondary weapons have limited ammunition, it is always best to renew your stock by spending either 15 coins or doing mission objectives that gives you ammunition, especially before a boss fight. Yet, as much as I enjoyed the missions and the roguelike progression, the variety is limited, and Metal Slug Tactics desperately needs more maps, mission objectives, and enemies to reach its full potential. Just a little more diversity in all these aspects would have gone a long way, making Metal Slug Tactics one of the best tactical roguelike experiences like Into the Breach. 9 different characters with different abilities, 4 different loadouts, and team composition provides a variety and experimental approach, but once you see the map, once you read your objective and then face your enemies for that encounter, you tend to visualize what kind of an experience awaits you during that mission. And once you get to this point, you might start to gamble, taking unnecessary risks to clear the mission faster but with greater risks. And this risks has also its reward. Movement is one of the crucial aspects of Metal Slug Tactics. The further a character moves, more ability points they earn, giving you opportunity to shape things. Although Metal Slug Tactics encourages an active, aggressive style, the lack of variety brings a bad aftertaste. And once you felt the bad aftertaste, there is nothing much to do than increasing the difficulty and moving on to the harder versions of the same objectives and maps. Meaning that Metal Slug Tactics desperately and urgently needs more Metal Slug aspects, whether it be enemies, maps, or different bosses. Metal Slug Tactics is a bold departure from its run and gun roots, one that blends nostalgia with tactical gameplay in a way that's ambitious but not without flaws. While it does a lot right, bringing back fan-favorite characters and a visual style that honors the original series, it often feels like it's holding back from being a fully realized tactical experience. It's definitely worth a try if you're a long-time Metal Slug fan craving something new, or if you enjoy tactical roguelikes with unique character abilities. But if you are looking for something deeper or more fleshed out in its tactical elements, you might find yourself wishing for more. I came to yell heavy machine gun with my all, but stayed for nostalgia, fun to play characters, and wished for more. As always, thank you for watching today's video. If you enjoyed this review, please give a like, subscribe, and let me know your thoughts in the comments. Your support through Patreon and YouTube join means a lot, and I will see you soon in my next video.